This conference will now be recorded.
Can you hear us now, Eric?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
We can. Yep.
Sweet.
Cool. So yeah, Fireman's Fest should proceed, no problem. What I was told. Good question. Any other questions, thoughts, concerns? Any other topic? Nope. Cool. Next agenda item, discuss and consider the minutes from the February 27th, 2023 meeting. Questions, concerns, comments, or a motion?
I move approval of the minutes from the February 27th, 2023 meeting.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion is second. Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries. Moving on. Chief's report.
All right, staff is still the same, 45 people, 10 officers, 2 driver operators, 28 firefighters, and 5 probationary. 56 calls for service as of 3/17. We've had a few since then, but we'll just go off the 56 for today. That's averaging out to 0.74 calls a day. At this rate, we'd be about 270 at the end of the year. So slight drop. We've had a slight reduction in calls the last few weeks, so that's, knock on wood, that's pretty good. Breakdown is 21 in the village, 14 in the town, 9 in Pleasant Springs, and 12 mutual aid calls. Apparatus, car 1 has been staffed continuously since we put it into service by one of the chief officers. New tender began production a few weeks ago. The chassis is already assembled and down there, and they're starting to put the truck together. The new radios arrived at GenCom. We actually picked up all the portables yesterday, and then we had to return all the portables today because they were programmed wrong. So we had new radios for about 12 hours. It was.
I still call it a win. We still own them. We're just-
This is the work problem. This is kicking the cat.
It sure seems like it, by the way it went. There's a lot of issues with programming for some reason. So hopefully they get it worked out before Deer Grove gets their radios. So we'll see. All the mobile radios are in too, but they're not going to be installed in the trucks until May 1st, just because they've got a lot of work coming down the pipe. Training for February's air consumption and face piece fit testing. Members wear full turnout gear and work as hard as they can to see how long a bottle will last for them. And then they also had their SCBA face piece fit tested with a machine to make sure it's properly fitting. Last week, or this Tuesday, we actually had training with the Wisconsin DNR on wildland fire. And then several members went through Wisconsin DNR ATV safety training to operate our ATV. Staff milestones, 2 years for Emma Dabbs, and Katie Miller has 5 years for the department. We had our annual corned beef and cabbage on Saturday. It sounded like it went pretty well. We'll be sending 2 members to the Wisconsin Professional Honor Guard training coming up, and then we're also going to be sending a couple people to be qualified on car seat safety checks.
Did everybody pass the ATV driving?
We haven't done the driving part yet. The Wisconsin DNR changed their program where all their safety courses no longer have a driving element to them because somebody actually died because they lost control of their unit and crashed. So to eliminate the liability, they just do the course now. So
Nick, can you comment on the Monona structure fire?
we sent 1 crew, engine 3 went with a team of 4. I was not on it. Sounds like they were called out about 3 a.m. Didn't get back until just shy of noon. So don't really have a lot of details yet. They're still doing the investigation on that. And then last night we sent an engine and the command car to McFarland for that fire. So
I didn't know. I remember.
we big fire in McFarland last night too.
Everybody come back and wash the suits just right, like instantly as soon as they get back? Yeah.
They started washing their stuff now. Not right away, but they're getting into it. So.
Yeah. Cool. Thanks. Any other questions for Nick? Okay, then moving on, discuss and consider purchasing new air compressor for emergency services building.
So I put together a bunch of quotes. The ones from Granger, this is like the web price. Usually when we buy stuff from Granger's, we use the town's account. I don't know what their kind of discount is. I've looked it up with my works account, and these are a lot higher than what my work gets, but I don't know if the town gets the same price, and I can't really use my work account to buy. I can tell you. So I don't know if the Granger would be cheaper using their town account. The Northern Tool was, but just put a couple options together. So the current compressor is 14.2 CFM, single stage. The voltage is 230, so that's why we picked out the ones that we did. Those are the ones that best fit the what we currently have. And then the air dryer that we sized was bigger than what the compressor is, but the reason we did that is because of the connection size on the air dryer. So if you went to get the right size air dryer, the 14 CFM, the fitting size is like 3/8. So you'd be coming out of the compressor at 3/4 and then choke it down to 3/8, and then it would create a lot of back pressure on the compressor. So we went with one that had the right size. As far as install goes, myself and another member were gonna do the install, so it didn't cost anything to do the install on it.
The purpose of the air dryer is to help prevent rust, right?
Keep the moisture out of the air. So the compressor we have over there goes to the shorelines, which goes to the air brakes of all the trucks. In the last few years, we've had a lot of problems with moisture in the brake tanks. And we've actually lost 2 of the air compressors. Like ladder 1 had to get a new brake compressor, and the squad had to get a new brake compressor and they blamed it on moisture. So
Moisture coming out of the air compressor feeding into the.
Yep.
Anybody ever heard of speed air?
I mean, I've heard of it.
Are they good, bad, indifferent?
I have no issues with speed air at all.
I'm just doing the math over here. If you did speed air versus the Ingersoll ring.
You know, and I don't get confused or wrapped up around the CFM because of the fact that the type of use that this is going to be, you know, the one CFM, you know, is not going to make a hill of beans because of the fact most of the time it's going to be idle anyway until it just needs to fill up the tank. It's not like you're running air tools in an
Continuously.
industrial setting all the time, to.
And, I think oh wow. Yeah, the Northern Tool option for Ingersoll Rand is cheaper. So total for the Speed Air, $3,023.80. But that's from Granger, and we don't know if can we use the town account.
Yeah, I don't know what the discount
The
is.
Northern Tool Ingersoll Rand combo is $2,929.98. So a difference of 20, 30 bucks, $100, $93.
Same models as we see here.
What, I was comparing the Speed Air from Granger versus the Ingersoll Rand from Northern Tool.
Okay.
The Ingersoll Rand from Granger was already
Significantly higher.
significantly higher.
Yeah.
I guess for it be if we can get whatever discount is, if we can get the price close to what Northern Tool gets for their IR, I guess I would rather go with Granger as a company.
Yeah, you're,
Versus Northern Tool. Just my 2 cents.
Can we approve a dollar amount instead of approving a particular item and just let the
Yeah, we
best
could.
choice be made?
I think so.
Not to exceed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, one thing I didn't put in here, which I was gonna mention to you guys too, is if we can add another $125 for an auto drain for the tank. It basically every X amount of time, it automatically opens, drains the moisture out of the compressor tank. They're $125. What I do right now is I go up there and I manually drain the tank like once a day. So it would save me a bunch of effort if we could just put one of those on there. So.
You would. I'd just call it $3,100.
Is that what
But if you want-
tax? You got tax on there?
So if you take the Granger option, I'm sorry, the Northern Tool option, plus the $125, you get $3,054.98.
At 6%.
3054.
3054. So if you add another 50 for tax, whatever, you're at about $3,100. But we don't know what the Granger discount is. So I'm not making the motion, but if I was making it, I'd say $3,100 would be. Because you're in the ballpark, right? Because you're at like just under, you're at like
Is there-
$2,929 plus tax,
What would you say?
or
3,000 what?
We won't pay tax.
Oh,
That's right,
we won't pay tax?
No, that's right, government agency.
Probably a little bit of extra in there in case we have to do some electrical work. I don't know, if you did like a not to exceed of 3,500, I don't think we would hit 3,500, but if there was electrical fittings,
True.
all that stuff, then we're,
So moved.
should be covered.
Probably 35.
I have a motion for $3,500. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Cool. Moving on. Discuss and consider consolidated joint fire agreement. So what I did tonight, apologies, last meeting, my printer ran out of ink, and this time I went to Village Hall and had JJ print these. So I haven't touched this agreement since this is the red line copy. I kept the track changes in here just so you could see what the kind of the conversation between Rick and the town's attorney was. Again, last month's meeting, we kind of talked through this. The only thing that came up at last meeting was the commission. And I asked the village attorney, and he said the only, and April kind of as well, thank you for your very lengthy research into this one. Police commissions are the only things via statute that require unelected officials. Fire commissions, fire committees do not, there's no such requirement there. So statute just requires that we call it a commission. But that's the only change since the last time we talked about this last month. And really, that's not even a change, that's just a clarification, so. Thoughts, concerns?
I didn't have any issues with it.
Other than that, I will entertain a motion.
I'll move that we recommend to both boards adoption of the new agreement at their next meeting.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Awesome, thank you guys. That,
Do we have to wait till that's approved to start calling ourselves a commission, or is that effective?
I mean, semantics, I would say.
Just for like the website or whatever.
Yeah, we will want to wait for the website to the next one. So. That was a couple years in the making, so appreciate everybody's hard work on that one. We got there. So next one, next meeting date. I have, what are we looking at here?
22nd, okay?
April.
Or April, duh. Well, we could do the 22nd in May also.
We probably will. Let's see here.
24th?
24th, yep.
Works for me.
Awesome. Change here. Cool. 24th it is. Next. Future agenda items? Nope, okay. With that, then I will entertain a motion for a closed session. This closed session is to negotiate a position regarding Pleasant Springs contract. The Cottage Grove Fire District Committee will enter in a closed session pursuant to Wisconsin State statute. This would be a roll call vote too.
I'll make the motion to go into closed session.
Second. A motion and a second. We'll do a voice call vote.
Hampton, aye.
Anders, aye.
Aye.
Peterson, aye.
Let me turn this off.
Thanks, Eric. Yeah. He left.